Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has yet again accused India of border trespassing. He said in the parliament that India has put forces in Nepal's territory. India, on the other hand, has reiterated that Indian forces remain in its own territory. India has called on Nepal to create a positive environment. Meanwhile, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that Nepal should not repeat the mistake of Tibet. He said that India and Nepal may be two political entities but have one soul. He further said, and I quote, "The two countries have cultural, historical, mythological links that date back several centuries," end quote. To this, Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli said that he regards this as contempt towards his country. He said if Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister had treated Nepal in that way, that is unacceptable. He added that Yogi Adityanath should not have spoken this way. Prior to this, Nepal Prime Minister said that the country was ready for dialogue with India on the border row. Earlier today, Nepal Prime Minister also said that 85% of coronavirus cases in the country came from India. The new map by Nepal marks the disputed territory of Lipu Lake as its own. The amendment proposal also depicts the areas of Kalapani and Limpiadhura, which belong to India, within its own borders. Joining us on this broadcast is WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, for more details on this story. Siddhant, the face-off between India and Nepal clearly continues, both sides accusing each other. India has maintained that Indian forces continue to remain on Indian territory. But for our viewers, could you explain this new border row between Nepal and India? Nepal is amending its border maps. Why is it suddenly doing so? Because India and Nepal have been neighbors for decades. So who does this territory belong to historically? And has Nepal drawn new lines on the map and claimed the territory as its own? Or what is their case exactly?
Well, Shobhit, this is not a 2 or 3 weeks old issue. It's not 2 or 3 months old issue. It's a 200-year-old issue. It was in the year 1815 that there was a treaty which was signed between the then British Raj and Kathmandu after Nepal lost against the British Raj. And under this treaty of Sagoli, the borders between British Raj and Nepal, when it comes to the eastern border, was decided when it comes to River Kali, and that was decided under the treaty. And there was the starting point of this river that is disputed because Nepal says that the British mischievously had changed the border, and the current territories, which are Indian territories, are supposed to be Nepali territory under the treaty. But the big question is, why now? Why suddenly 200 years after? And if questions are being raised about this specific treaty, then at the entire subcontinent there are so many countries who are bound to raise questions regarding the British era treaty, and that can change the borders of the entire subcontinent. But talking about what has happened today in the parliament, in the Nepali parliament, we know the comments by the Nepali Prime Minister. He spoke on 3 main counts. One on COVID. He said that when it comes to COVID crisis in Nepal, 85% of people who are infected with COVID have come from India. This is not the first time he has said that in last 2 or 3 weeks. He is basically reiterating. Secondly, on the comments by the Chief Minister of the state of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, he basically said that Nepal could become the next Tibet, and that has drawn ire when it comes to the Nepali Prime Minister. He spoke in the parliament saying his comments are something that are condemnable, and he said that New Delhi should take cognizance of it and give him advice that he should not make comments regarding Nepal like this. And thirdly, of course, reiteration, but yet again he raised the border row, saying that diplomatically they would like to resolve the matter with New Delhi, but he said that these are Nepali territory, and the sovereign claim of Nepal is something that they are not going to give up so easily. Right. And these comments are something that are bound to again raise the row or the diplomatic row between New Delhi and Kathmandu, because New Delhi is not going to take it kindly when it comes to the territorial and sovereignty of the country. And for that, India has urged Nepal to create a conducive, a positive environment for any talks to take place.
Siddhant Sibal, thank you so much for joining us. We'll keep our viewers updated about all the developments regarding this story.